What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I've been wondering, what is it that the men are doing to save other men? Is it ranting on the internet how the women are spoiled? Or is it trying to come together and build a system under which the man can regain his intrinsic power? And both of us know that that is a very difficult question to answer, especially based on the resources that we have as a society and as a community. But what comes to my mind every time I see these things happen is, how are we securing the future of the young generation so that it could be way more important? Let's see. If every woman wants the man on top, why don't they let the man on top teach the boy how to become the man on top, so that in the near future we have more desirable men? But that is not happening. The same woman who desires to be with the man on top demonizes him. The same woman who wants the man who makes 6 figures demonizes the same man who makes 6 figures. The same woman who wants a dominant man, a powerful man, a leader, is the same woman that is teaching the young boy that it is toxic to be masculine, that being in the gym is destroying your body and you should be as feminine as you could. It's really disgusting, and I really don't have a problem with the ladies, because again, this is a mind game and life is a game, and somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. What interests me the most is, what is the position that we have as men in this whole fight? Because it's a fight. It's a fight and somebody is trying to win. And who is it that is going to win at the end of the day? Is it you? I don't think so. I don't think men were really winning. It's just that we're trying to build a very small, outspoken and well-articulate group of men that is speaking out for the larger community. And trust me, the larger community of men is suffering way more. They're suffering way more that we can really talk about. They're suffering way more that we can really understand. They're suffering way more they're suffering more than we can explain on these short videos that we make on the internet. And trust me, on the internet, these men might go behind locked doors with cameras and everything and record these videos, how they're masculine and how strong they are. But the moment they leave the house, the amount of hate they receive pushes them to act in conformity. And trust me, conformity is the strongest killer of all men. Because if you want to stand out, you can't conform. That's it. If you want to be the best accountant, you have to do what the best accountants haven't done yet. If you want to be the best sprinter, you have to do what Usain Bolt hasn't done yet. If you want to be the best boxer, you have to do what Muhammad Ali and Michael Tyson and Mayweather haven't done yet. You have to have the essence of creativity, of becoming a wholesome intrinsic being and an extrinsic system where other people can come and tap in their opportunity. And that is the strength of masculinity. You are like a home that harbors the entire generation into one. But do we really get that in return? No, we don't. We're finding men who can go in a cocoon of other men and talk about how strong they are. But the moment a woman walks by, their dicks fold as if they've been castrated. We're talking about a group of men that will go online and flex how much they have until it's time to really prove what they got. Then they cover themselves in blankets and hide as if they've been scared by a raccoon. Come on. We are talking about how much we want to be strong and how much we raise families, but when our wives and when our girlfriends come up with some stupid idea, there is no single time, at least most of the time, when men stand up and say, hey babe, that is not happening because that is not right. No, we don't do that. And if we don't do that, how do we expect our sons to do it? And so this thing is, what is the position of the man in trying to get back to his power? Because unless the man is in power, the society is falling apart, because today the society is being run under what do I feel like and what's my emotions. Consent is no longer a logical perspective when it comes to having sex, but rather a feeling. Consent can't be a feeling. Consent is logic. Do you want to have sex with me? Yes, I do. Should I continue? Yes, that is logic. Whatever you feel after that, it doesn't matter whether you felt disgusted after it. It doesn't matter whether you felt broken after it. It doesn't matter what you feel. It's all about logic. And that's why we need more men in the society who can instill into the young boys and the young girls the element of logic, so that as much as we are emotional beings, we have the party, which is the feminine energy that builds up emotion, and we have the masculine energy that builds up the logic. And when logic and emotion are balanced, the society becomes happier and better. And there is no single moment in life where the dating market has ever been fair. Ever since the history of time, the man on top has always been the man with everything, whether it's in the traditional communities. And this is just how life has been. This is how life has been. And the moment men are going to stand up to their fellow men and tell them the truth, that unless you get to your best version, unless you can beat another man down when they pose to you a challenge, unless you can stand up straight with your shoulders high and your head held high and speak with perfect articulation, unless you can go up, walk to the stage and speak like you own that goddamn stage, unless you can be the perfect version of that a man's identity can be identified with, then you're not ready for the game, because you're going to be beaten. There was a time I was talking to this friend of mine, and he said the man on top created monogamy so that they could spread the possibility of men and women interacting and giving birth and spreading the population. But unfortunately, because monogamy allowed the moderate or the average man to multiply, there is more and oversupply of weak men in the society, because a snake's child is a snake, and so a weak man's son is a weak man. And unless we understand these facts, it's very hard, and that's why women wanna have children with the strongest. If you go to the jungle, the lionesses, all of them wanna cub with the strongest, most furious, most dominant, most powerful lion, all of them. And that's why over the history of time, all females that have existed, up to 80% of them have given birth at least once, with almost 60% of them giving birth up to 3 times. That is a very high number. And when you tell the statistics of the men, it's very crazy. Out of all population of men that have ever existed in the history of time, up to only 40% have at least an offspring existing, and only 20% of them have up to 3. That is a very alarming number. And you look at it and you're like, 40% have at least 1, and 20% have up to 3, while 60% of the women have up to 3, and 80% of them have at least 1. That statistic doesn't match. And you know why? Because it's only the perfect of the perfect men that get the opportunity to spread themselves into the next generation. And unless we're going to teach our sons and the young men that if you want to get your seed into the next generation, you have to be the best fighter, the best sprinter, the best speaker, the best engineer, the best financer. You have to be the best of the best to get the best of you in the next generation. And this is to all men. Remember, a child of a snake is a snake, and so is the child of a strong man, and so is the child of a weak man, a child of a puppet, and a child of a king, a king.